Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Richard Schulman. The world has changed, and it's not going back. Let that sink in for a moment. The world has changed, and it's not going back. Maybe it shouldn't go back, but whether we want it to or not, it's not going back. Too much intensity, too much drama, too much trauma, too much revealing of how physically sick we are as a society. And the cracks in our healthcare system seem as wide as the Grand Canyon right now. We're not going back, and maybe we shouldn't. As a psychologist, as a psychotherapist, I'm not going back either. Because of the COVID-19 threat, I've been seeing most of my people online, and I've been very pleasantly surprised with how effective the online therapy can be. My friend, a psychiatrist, Dr. Mark Sylvester, told me this years ago. He's been doing telemedicine for a while. And Mark, I'm convinced. I'm not going back. And mental health practitioners out there, you better be ready to respond. The mental health consequences of this time are going to be humongous. You better be ready. You better be ready to see people who are afraid to come out of their homes. Because if you think that when the stay-at-home order is lifted, people will just go, hey, everything's cool. Too much trauma. People are going to be frightened to go out. Whether it's realistic or not, doesn't matter. We have to be prepared as mental health professionals. So get comfortable with online platforms, online therapy. People will isolate even after this is done. Now, the good news is that our brains don't really know the difference between reality and what we imagine. I've often told people, be careful what you say because your brain is going to believe it. There have been studies using PET scans. PET scan is a brain mapping technique where you can look at a dog and the electrics of the PET scan will show a certain pattern. Then you close your eyes, imagine the dog, guess what? Same pattern. The brain doesn't know the difference. So this is actually positive for online therapy. It's very effective. The brain doesn't know the difference. Now, human beings are pack animals. We're really not supposed to be alone. So the platforms like Zoom can have everybody in the room at once. This is very powerful. I actually had a family therapy session last week that was very effective. I didn't think I'd be able to track the interactions that you need to track in a family therapy session, yet it was very simple. Actually, in a way, it was easier to track because I didn't have to move my vision around. They were all right in front of me at once. The brain doesn't know the difference, and neither did mine. Now, anybody who thinks that life is as it was is going to be surprised at the opportunities here. I have a friend named Sharon Fiquette, and Sharon pointed out to me that there is no such thing as a blended family anymore. Now it's a modern family. We don't put people in a blender, you know. Blended family is really a misnomer. Modern family. How many kids today have, in my children's generation and their children's generation, how many kids haven't been through a divorce or had somebody very close to them go through it? So kids are kind of expecting they're going to be in two homes. Sounds crazy, I know, but it's the truth. So how can we use this time, this reset, to make families closer, to be in two places at once? Okay, let's take just recently, Easter Sunday just passed. Both families in a divorced family, in a modern family, want the child with them. It's COVID-19 time, so we're going to be conservative about, who we connect with, but everybody wants to see everybody. Get comfortable with the Zoom or other platforms, and get online. That child can be with both families at no risk, at no emotional risk either. Think about how this could expand a child's ability to connect with both families on an everyday basis, not just Easter Sunday. You know, the divorce guidelines for families, for years they said everybody gets one phone call in 24 hours. Now imagine that you get a Zoom platform where you can be with your brothers, your sisters, your stepbrothers. You don't have to miss out. You don't have to feel disconnected. Human beings are pack animals. Now therapists may say, well, I don't want to do this because I can't feel what's going on in the room. Well, mental health professionals, step up your game. You know, the air connects us electrically, and human beings are electrical beings. If you don't believe this, don't get an EEG, don't get an EKG. We are electrical beings, and as therapists, we can connect with that energy. You just have to give yourself permission to do that. And when you do that, the world opens up again. Now, as a sidebar, I'm using the Zoom platform in my personal life very wonderfully. My son is in Boston, my other son is down here in Florida, but he has his own life, and the three of us always did better when we were in the same room together, and now we have that. And it's really beautiful. My two oldest friends, one is in New York, one is in San Francisco. Now we meet every week. And you know, the good stuff is there. We connect as if we're in the room together because the brain doesn't know the difference. I'm glad about that because I love my boys and my old friends. And it's so nice to connect. Everything is changing. The world has changed. It's not going back. One more thing. Last week, an ER physician named Cameron Kyle Seidel had a video that went viral on the internet about what he was seeing and what he felt that conventional therapy was missing regarding COVID-19 patients. Well, I talked about this, and I was the guy wearing the tinfoil hat, and I was attacked. Who is this guy? What are his credentials? Maybe he's making it up. Well, today, he's in the New York Times with a bunch of other doctors. This is mainstream news. And I trust boots on the ground. Boots on the ground know a lot more than the people in the ivory towers or the politicians. Trust boots on the ground. And if we didn't have this media platform, we'd never have heard of Dr. Seidel. Well, now he's in the New York Times. That's about as mainstream as we get. So we're going to need this kind of creative thinking. We need creative communication, and we don't need censorship. Let's talk about these ideas. The world has changed. We can't act as if it hasn't and shut down new ideas just because we don't like them and they don't fit our paradigm. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox for a minute. I want you all to remember that you're electrical beings and connect electronically, perhaps. I'm a hugger. I like to be with people. I like to touch people. Well, guess what? I'm going to have to do it for a while energetically. And maybe that's good. Maybe we step up our game. Maybe we all step up our game. So, I'm going to sign off now. You can reach me by email, dr.richardschulman@yahoo.com. You can reach me on my Facebook page. If you have comments, if you have questions, let me know. If you want music, you can go to my band's page at dreamwalkersband.com. And I'd like you all to consider being in this new circumstance. And how can we make it work for us to make things better? It's not about just not going back to where we were before. We want to make things better. This is an opportunity, people. So, Everybody, stay healthy, stay connected, be cool. I'm sending love and peace out.